Welcome back to the Manny Perspective, everyone. I hope all you guys been doing well. Congratulations to all you guys. We made it through the summer. Congratulations to the seniors for graduating. Usually I'm just kind of sitting down, which I am sitting down today as well. But usually we're just kind of explaining things. Today it's a more of a spiritual video, not necessarily a theological or doctrinal video. Before we start, I just want to tell you guys what I've been doing lately. So last week, I did go to the Catholic Literary Arts Camp at UST. If any of you guys are interested, if any of you guys like writing, you guys are Catholic, please make sure to check them out. It's really great. I've been going to their camps in 7th grade. It's for 3rd to 8th graders for the middle school writers. And for high schoolers, they also have a program for that. Same place. So if you have little siblings, make sure to bring them over. And if you're in the Houston area, it's at UST, University of St. Thomas. So, it's pretty close to the city. And yeah, so if you do want to join, I'll leave a link down in the description. And it's catholicliteraryarts.org. If you want to sign up for next summer, that'd be great. They appreciate it. They're super friendly. They're super welcoming. And I just want to give a shout out to them. So apart from that, today's video is, as I said, going to be a little different. So today's video is about trust, and specifically the trust we have towards God, not towards other humans. Because as humans, I tend to see that we get worried a lot. We're always worried about something. Like, if you think about it right now, you're probably worried about something. There's probably something you're worried about, something you really want in your life that you may not be sure if you're going to have, which is subtle foreshadowing. But we're always worried. We always have these worries in our life. And, as humans, we tend to think that this is natural, which it sort of is. But as Catholics, we have to also think about it in a different way. So as I was saying, these worries we have in our lives, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys what it means. So indirectly, and sometimes most of the time directly, this is telling God that I don't really trust in him. And what I mean by that is, maybe some of you guys haven't thought about it, but when you worry about something, you're worrying because you cannot control something and you are trying to control that thing. So maybe if I'm worried if I'm going to win the lottery, that's kind of a pretty bad example. But let's say I'm worried about winning the lottery, right? I'm not sure I'm going to win, but I really want to win. And that's why I'm worried about it. I'm not sure something is going to happen, but I really want it to happen. Or maybe you don't want it to happen. And that is why you get this sense of being worried. And when we're worried, it's like we're trying to control something. We're trying to control the outcome of something, when in reality, we can't. And as Catholics, we have to understand that we can't control most things in life, apart from our reaction to what happens. And also, on the side note, sorry if there's cars passing by. I'm at church right now, so it's kind of hard to just not get any cars passing by. So this trust that we are lacking in God because we are trying to control things by our own means, by our own will, that shows how much trust we do not have in God. And actually, the reason I'm making this video is because in my life, I've noticed that not only do I worry about things where I have no control, but I also notice, my family members, my friends worrying about these things where if we trusted in God, if we had this thing we really wanted that to happen or not to happen, and we just gave it up to God and we let him handle it, we shouldn't be worried, because whatever God's will is, it's God's will. We shouldn't be worried because God can't do anything bad, right? A lot of times as Catholics, we confuse ourselves. We confuse and we might say, oh, God put me in this situation. No, most of the time, we are the ones that put ourselves in those situations. And we can't blame God for that because God is all good, right? How can he do anything bad? What God can do is he can take us out of those bad situations. So going back to what I was saying about this trust, when we have these things that are bothering us, the best thing we can do is give it up to God. The best thing we could do is just let God take over it and let God do its will. If it's going to happen, let it happen. If it's not going to happen, it doesn't happen. But whatever happens is a result of what God wants to happen. So, as Catholics, we can't just stress about things. We can't just constantly be stressed, because first of all, that's not good for our health. And second of all, how can we really call ourselves followers of God if whatever his will is, we're willing to override it? If you look back at it at the Garden of Eden, what were they trying to do? They were trying to take control. They were trying to be like God. They were trying to take control of everything. They let their pride take over. Tower of Babel. When we have these worries and we're constantly trying to control the outcome of these things, that's in reality what it is. We're really just trying to be our own gods. That's pride in full effect. And again, as Catholics, we can't fall into this temptation. We can't try to control these things that in reality we have no control over. We just really have to fully trust in God. Because as I said earlier, whatever God does can never be bad. So whatever the outcome of the situation you give up to him is, in reality, maybe you think it's bad, but in reality, it isn't. And that's something else we have to realize. As humans, we are kind of like these little kids. Bishop Barron made a really good example for this. As little kids, sometimes we want some things, but we can't have them. And our parents might hinder us from doing a couple of things, or our parents might not let us do a couple of things. And that, raised to the infinite is kind of our relationship with God. Sometimes we're just these little kids. We can't really see everything. So at the moment, we might think something is bad. When our parents, when we were little, maybe didn't let us have that ice cream, we maybe thought, oh, this is bad, because in the moment we thought it was good, but our parents looked at it in the long-term effects, which is the same way God looks at things, and which is the same reason we have to understand that God knows it all. God is all goodness, and we have to understand that if we follow God, he is going to take us to the best outcome possible. May that be heaven, may that be on earth, whether it may be wherever. God will always lead you to the right place if you trust in him. So a really good example for this is maybe a treasure map, right? You have this treasure, you have the map, and maybe on your road there, you might face some hardships. On your way there, you might experience all these bad things. You might experience storms, tornadoes, hurricanes, you might experience whatever. But at the end of the day, once you go through all of that, you will realize once you get to that treasure that it was all worth it. And not only that it was all worth it, but that the final destination was worth going through all those hardships. And that the final destination is that goodness you were looking for. And in our lives, that right there, that treasure is heaven. That treasure is Jesus, what we are trying to reach. Once we reach it, whether we have to go through hardships, that is worth it. That is worth us giving all of our lives for. So as Catholics, I invite all of you guys to pray in God, to trust in God, and trust that whatever worries you might have in your lives, to just give it up. This also does not mean that if I pray to God that I get 100 on my test and I do 0 studying, I'm just going to get 100 on my test. It doesn't work like that, all right? I have to study, and then once I study, I trust my abilities, right? And then God will come and he will fulfill whatever needs I have. So also don't look at this in a certain way where whatever you ask for, God is just automatically going to give it to you. A lot of things in life, you have to work for them. And you have to work for them and trust that God will get you there. A lot of times in our lives, we might be getting somewhere and we might be thinking, oh, I'm going to get there by myself. I'm going to get there by my means. I'm going to get there by my hard work. It's not all about that. The person that ultimately helps us get there is Jesus Christ, right? So I invite all you guys again as Catholics to really pray and really trust in God. Later on, I'll probably make a video on prayer and what prayer is and what prayer is not. So stay tuned in for that. Again, sorry for not uploading for a while. I was really busy. And for the last time, shout out again to CLA, Catholic Literary Arts. Go to our website, catholicliteraryarts.org. If you're a writer, if you're a Catholic writer and you're really interested in it, go to the website. You can donate. You can sign up for their events. They have a lot of events that are friendly to high school students and a lot of events that are friendly to a lot of adults. So with this concludes my video. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you hit the like button. And make sure you send it to all your friends, family, mom, dad, brother, sister, pet, whatever it might be. I will be praying for all of you guys, and I especially hope that you guys pray for me as well. So thank you so much and have a great day.